Star Wars Dark Forces, developed by LucasArts in 1995, is one of the very first shooting games to exist. It helped spawn the genre that we all love today, the first person shooter, or FPS for short. Back then, we used to call games like these Doom clones, or Wolfenstein clones. Star Wars Dark Forces is essentially a modification of another game called Wolfenstein, which is the actual very first person shooter ever made. Star Wars Dark Forces uses the same engine as Wolfenstein. So Dark Forces essentially looks and feels just like it, but with a Star Wars paint job, giving it that Star Wars theme and vibe. Star Wars has been sitting in my Steam library for quite some time, and I've always been meaning to run it at some point. With the recent remaster of the game being released, I decided to finally take a peek at the original version of the game. I wonder if it holds up sturdy, or does it have erectile dysfunction? Let's take a peek. I remember hearing about this game back in its prime a bit, and hearing good things about it. At that time, I was addicted to a Doom demo that I would play almost every day as a kid. I am still fond of the original Doom's gameplay today, and I'm sure if Dark Forces is as good as people said it was back then it surely must be a banger today. I'm genuinely curious if Dark Forces can still arouse me as a gamer, or if it'll flop with some erectile. Some things I liked while playing Star Wars Dark Forces are the great looking graphics. Even for today's standard, they look and feel great. Great sound and audio. The laser guns pack a punch and the voiceovers are crispy for their time. It has great level design. I had a great time navigating my way through the levels and figuring out how to progress. Great shooting mechanics. The guns feel great to shoot, and they feel great to be shot with, or shot at with. Has amazing cutscenes, especially for its time. I would say they're ahead of their time. They hold up even in today. Great mission briefing before each level. Usually when I play games that have mission briefing before you jump into a stage or level, I don't really care to read through it, or the interface is just not appealing enough to want to navigate. But in this game, they made it so. I was actually reading everything, every little detail of what to do and what the objectives were, and it made the overall game a better experience. At the end of the day, Dark Forces is a fun Doom clone. I'd say it's just as good, if not better. If you enjoy Doom, you will love this game. While playing through Star Wars Dark Forces, it wasn't all that great. There were some things that were bothersome. For example, it runs poorly, especially when you play using a mouse, using modern controls. I had a better time just using the keyboard only, and that seemed to work. Another problem I had with the game was that I was unable to minimize it while I was running it. Every time I minimized it, it seemed to crash, or I wasn't able to reopen it. The game has a confusing third stage or level, which can cause frustration if accustomed to today's standards of gaming. You're unable to play in higher resolutions, apparently, which is, a little bit of a downside. This is the original version, remember, not the remaster. I'm sure the remaster fixed all of that and gets rid of most of these. Altogether, Star Wars Dark Forces is a very solid first-person shooter, very ahead of its time. I've tried out more recent modern FPS games, and I didn't have anywhere near the amount of fun I had with Star Wars Dark Forces. We here at Hard On Gaming give it the full Hard On title.